Sports and sex.
Just blew me away, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, there's the two-headed Vic. That's right. It's time for New Sports, Victor Allen's New Sports, where Victor Allen brings you his own personal take on sports. That's right. Produced, directed. This segment is all his fault. Give him all the attention.
You don't get no. That's jacked up. It's not. You know what?
Ladies and gentlemen.
It's so funny because if you go around a whole bunch of fellas, and I don't know about the ladies, you would think they know everything and got the pipeline to all the agents, the producers, managers. Like they know exactly how each player should play the game. In other words, they know more than anyone else on the inside. And so I said, well, let's just New Sports is it's a new take on our perspective, and we don't get no line of information coming to us at all.
That's right. We have to do it ourselves. But Vic, what a wonderful job you do with the New Sports.
Well, I'm glad you feel so enthused about it, man. I'm glad you do. Hey, look, congratulations to the soccer team, the U.S. soccer team. The women, of course, already did their thing, and they've been replaying this over and over. That you have to get out multiple screens of enjoyment, and I can't wait to hear the after parties and see the video footage of the ladies after they won the game on the night out. They never want to show that.
Oh yeah, I want to see them acting a fool.
Yes, if we don't get no reality show.
Sports bra.
Hey, look, in this day and age, I kid you not. The requirement. Remember back in the day, Mario. If you sit here and say, I got an email address, I have a website. Well, right now, if you don't have email, website, video, the requirement is a reality take on yourself. Now, if you're anything into sports, entertainment, or anything like that, if you don't have reality tied to you, which is just you being you, I always say that Richard Pryor was a walking reality show.
Oh, yeah, that's where it is today. Everybody expects to see something about your life.
That's right.
So, they're going to mass like, what you call them, barbarians at the gate.
That's right. I call it. I love it because you're breaking down the walls of what content used to depend on. And now Twitter has really been what you call your avenue, really, of reality without having it translate over into a video so much as so. But you're going to find that videos are going to be commonplace. Everyone, for whatever reason, it's just how fast they can get out there. Hey, look, here's the thing that I'm going to ask about this. Mario, here's a team. If you want to see another team play and continue to play, would you root against Brazil if you were vacationing down in Brazil?
No. Like I said, Vic, I couldn't root against them. First of all, they have what people are saying is the number one women's soccer player in the world. Mm-hmm. And it wonderful it was. And I'm not speaking as a soccer enthusiast, ladies and gentlemen, like many of you, especially here in the U.S. I was at best, I might watch the World Cup or something in the past. I did, but I did not watch much soccer.
No.
And really no women's soccer. I didn't even watch the previous Olympics where we had the issues, where we won, at least did well. So I was really impressed with at least ESPN making me aware of just what was going on with the whole soccer thing. And they actually wove the story so well that they got my interest up. And even though I slept through the game.
See, that's what you call
sleeping
on the job.
That's what I'm telling you.
See,
man.
See, it's not.
Damn.
Look,
sad.
The part about the soccer, to me, is the part that, I'm going to say this, no knock. Wonderful. Now, this. It's true. Aren't we looking for what we call the presiding, good-looking, media-friendly athlete of the U.S. women's soccer team, the one that the media wants to tag and get behind? Which woman is that, if there is one in your mind?
Oh, I don't know.
See, that's what was missing.
Abby Wambach.
Yes. Well, see.
Well, you know what? I just put it like this. I will say this. The women athletes in soccer, not bad. I'm a man. We're all pigs.
Right.
So we're looking at you. We can't help it, looking at the booty. Even though I must admit, you still can't beat that track and field. Because I switched over to the track and field.
Can't touch that. I'm sorry.
A little bit back to the World Cup.
Right. They may not have personalities, and they'd only get that interview after they win. That's it for their video moment.
But more and more press, more and more learning about them, Vic, and just being impressed with them as athletes.
Right.
And how hard they work.
Yeah.
And then just the fact that there's so much drama in this game. You had players who had not been doing their best who came through. Right. The person who kicked that winning kick.
The assist.
said, everybody's saying she was saying that's the best kick I've ever done in my life. Never have I kicked it off that foot like that in my entire life. For that moment, they did something they had never done before.
Right. And
even the person who headed it in said it's almost like they kicked that ball right to my head.
Yeah.
All I had to do was not mess it up.
Right. Her assist was
incredible.
To have two of the players from the U.S. right there around the goal, where one actually probably jumped a little bit early, went over the head, and she was like the backup. It was perfect. The part that gets me about this, Mario, is that when the U.S. women's soccer team came on the landscape, they came in favored. They brought it home. Big deal. Already 12 years ago, man. That's how long it's been.
Wow, it's been that long, 12 years.
It's been a long time. Now, here's my question, and before I get in any further, and everybody knows U.S. will play France, and I believe Japan plays Sweden. And just let everybody remind you that the U.S. already lost against Sweden, I think, already. So I'll just let you know it's not a gimme, but they're favored. Now, here's my question, Mark. This is the whole point. With the relative new age of women's international soccer play, why are the U.S. women more successful in World Cup play than the U.S. men?
Because the European the other players are better.
Who would you say? Now let me. No, wait. You know what? That's the. Okay. Y'all help me.
In other words, the other teams are better.
No, you can't say. Well, we know they're better. But what I'm saying is this. Let me just say this. I agree with you. You always. He makes the damn
kind of
show.
simple. Why is the U.S. team not winning? The other teams are better teams.
That's not what I'm trying to ask.
Oh, okay.
You want to sit back and give them the obvious. This is why isn't. Oh, I can't go there. This is not about sex.
Hey,
it's not about sex.
It isn't about sex. It's because they get, you heard the stats, they're getting more BJs here.
I'm just saying.
Look, oral sex, and they're not from Louisiana.
Well, here's the part that gets me, and I'm saying this for a reason. If the women, they play on it. Here's a different team. See, it's one thing when you have a tradition. The U.S. women are starting a tradition of being what they call not only a powerhouse, the powerhouse. And when you have that, coming from a place where, let's just say this, Marlon, so you can't blame this on whether U.S. men haven't focused on this. Well, in other countries, the girls play a lot of soccer. It wasn't professional, but that was the sport they played more so. They weren't playing as much basketball maybe, or even football, and not as much as baseball. So they had really soccer under the umbrella, even though it wasn't a professional sport. The U.S. women kicks in. Now, I'm just trying to figure this out. We develop athletes, and we have a lot of talented athletes in a number of different sports. The first thing's going to happen is that we have baseball, basketball, and football. But jumping off that fast, what do you think is lacking on the men's side to be not even considered a mid-level powerhouse? I mean, it's a tradition that we'll get up there, maybe get lucky to get the Sweet 16.
Well, it's probably what I actually would expect. I think they've done well considering. Some countries, those games are played from the time you're born, and that makes a difference. It certainly made a difference in basketball. For years, the U.S. dominated in basketball,
right,
but you just didn't have the same exposure of basketball. Now that you have Europeans and people in China playing basketball from the time they're small, you just see things to be differently. So I don't know if it's that the men were so bad. The real question would be why would U.S. women's soccer do so well? That's really the question. I think the men are doing as would be expected, considering the prominence of the sports in other countries. Where you go to other countries and little kids are in the corner with a ball, juggling it, and doing their soccer moves. You don't see that like that here in the U.S. But you really wonder why the U.S. women's soccer team, which has what appear to be a large number of regular old U.S. girls,
a brand new team. A development system that going must be
doing so well.
So
I don't know. I think if I really don't have a good answer for that, and I think, like I said, not so much that the U.S. men's team doesn't do well. I think they kind of do as expected. I think the question really is, what is it about the U.S. women's team that allowed them to do so well, and to commend them again for that.
And I do, and I'm celebrating this because look, we love it, and we probably expected them to do well because look, they here they are. A team that's considered a powerhouse. So we expect them to actually have an impact or win. We do not think of that when it comes to the men. We do not actually go like, hey, if they don't get to the semis, that's a failure. So here's the things that I put as options, one or two options, because I don't know that much about it, but I know this much. We did play soccer in junior high. You did kick the ball in elementary school. You did have areas where the complication of soccer is simple. Run fast, kick the ball, and maneuver the ball as much as you can to outwit your opponent. It's not a complicated sport. So I'm wondering, are we underachieving on the men's level since we get so well involved in other sports to some degree? So I'm not blaming the U.S. We're not, doing what we expect them to do, compete. But I thought maybe it was either one or two things. One, the U.S. men just don't have player development system. One where, it's just like any other sport, like baseball. Baseball, we go out and get other, pitchers or youngsters coming from other countries. We want to develop them. Or the U.S. men have other preferred sports ahead of soccer, and it's just plain as day. They just prefer the other major sports. What do you think, Mark?
Well, that's what I was saying. In the U.S., if you're a top athlete, you're probably not going for soccer. So you're going to have people that are siphoned off into other sports. It's just not, and it's not the money maker here.
Right.
That it could be internationally, and it is internationally.
So I see what you're saying. You answered the question. You say it's the economics.
Well, and the opportunities too. If you're fast with all those moves.
Right.
Now I'm not saying you have the skills. You're more likely playing football.
True. Or
something else here in the U.S. because again that's where the money is. But again, it's amazing. I still don't think you could use that to explain everything because the U.S. team, again, with the woman, was more regular, what I call, when you're the children of immigrants, right. you're often closer to soccer.
Right, yeah, because
especially Latin, right, but that's not what you're seeing here. So I have no idea, Vic. I don't think, like I said, I think the men are actually doing as expected because it's not, soccer really is starting just to take its way, even though, it's, like you said, it's been around. We didn't like it. We had it in gym class. I hated it. I hated it. It made a half.
What I'm trying to say.
I hated soccer at gym, and I did a half-assed job at playing it.
Wait a minute, Mario.
I couldn't wait to get to the other sports. I preferred it was like my worst sport.
Why?
I would rather play volleyball. I would even rather remember in gym class you would go to different. You have track season and
tetherball.
Anything besides soccer. Probably because I was an overweight kid. And all that damn running.
So wait a minute, Mario. So what you're saying right now, if America, which is going on its rate of obesity, soccer will probably get worse.
Yeah. Amongst our young folks, it's hard. They might be fast with their thumbs, but again, in the face of this, the women just won. That's what I'm saying, right?
Oh no, I love it.
So that's what makes it. That's what makes it such an amazing story.
I love the story,
because you're right. In the face of all of that, the women won, and I would not have expected that. And so I'm giving them props because with our fat kids, we're not coming anywhere close to anything soon.
Well, it's two things that I want to celebrate with the women. I'm going to give you props on this right offhand. There's two sports that you guys are now dominating from the perspective of what we call the U.S. Tennis, because we have no males that really get up there and compete. A la the Serena Williams and Venus Williams, champions. They always can represent the championship flavor when they put all their time into it, and they walk into it without being in best condition. And you know how there's a chance that one or two of them are going to make it, not this year. But when you look at tennis, men have been absent from the U.S. perspective for a long time, some years here. I mean, we're talking about double-digit years. So with that removed, you
mean as champions?
Champions. I'm saying as and look at the women as it relates to soccer. They are considered champions. I give them props, man. I love this story. To me, the idea that they got soccer and tennis representing their efforts as being a champion in a category, especially in soccer, because they go, we walked into this being like a champion. Our first go around in the Olympics.
Well, even though they haven't, they still have yet to be champions this year, but the people are celebrating them just for getting this far.
Yeah, we love it. I mean, that's the part of the expectations. You said it. I expect the men to do just as well as they.
Well, I mean, there's just other countries that it's such a. You could tell it really by the international competition. Soccer is a life or death issue in many of these other countries. They are. Know that. And they play. They just have more at stake.
Like Major League Baseball.
What can I say? What can I say? Because like when they play that World Cup, men's World Cup, there's gonna be some death in the stands.
Right.
They don't even have they'll cuss you out in another language.
What was that word you just said?
I'm telling you, they cuss you out in all kind of foreign languages and whip out a sword. All of them get mad. All of them soccer fans. I don't care where they are. They some crazy fans.
Well, see, here's the part I feel good about. I gave about 10 minutes on the baseball for on the
women's soccer.
I love that, man.
Well, explain this picture here.
Well, I gotta explain this wonderful picture here, man. That's called happy. They're happy times.
It's assault.
That's called a wonderful time, and they're celebrating on that win, and it's a wonderful thing. Now to go over to the sport that men are going like, please, get it done. Get it done. Get her done. That picture right there, man, may give you hope, Mario, because football season looks promising with the labor negotiations going over the major hurdle and having a positive outcome. Right now, they're just dealing with one major issue. Some others, I ain't going to give you the picture on that one. Some other issues they're dealing with, and I think the biggest one was, which is number one, which I almost I go back and forth on this. This is the guaranteed contract of the rookies coming in when they're unproven in the NFL, and the setting up what they call a scalable contract of guaranteed money, and they're working on that right now. Aren't you happy, Mario, that the NFL season is right around the corner? You know what? That's jacked up, man. See, this is why. See, you know what? This is why.
The fans don't care.
Yes, they do.
No, you know what was so bad about
care,
this?
man.
I mean, the fans do care, but when they poll the fans, they basically are disgusted and irritated no matter what you. It's amazing.
They're irritated over the negotiations and the fight.
They're irritated over It's a strange kind of a backlash. They are just irritated with everybody
because it's about greed,
and that's the way they
greed.
see it. You guys, the fans you would think that I at least expected them to empathize a little bit more with the players, but they're not.
No, this is the
So I was really acting like them. I care. I actually care.
Right.
It just seems like the fans like giving it up.
You know what?
All you guys.
I think, look, the part of the model that had to change somewhere is that you can't keep paying these exorbitant amounts on players. Now, if I'm a player,
if they keep making exorbitant money,
Mario, if I was a player, I'd want all I can get. But when you look at our system, the economy, we've leveraged the future on how we bankroll potential. Well, look what potential got us in our current economic condition. So
that's not a comparison I would make. The issue with the NFL, the issue is
guaranteed
what
contract.
percentage, and this is the way the players are going at. The players nowadays go at these things. They like to try to look at how much profit is made, and then debate what percentage of that profit they should make. So the first issue they always have is the bookkeeping.
Right.
Now, if you don't believe that they have a right to, if you don't want to even do their salaries based on a percentage of the profit, that's where the issue kind of comes into.
I know that,
that already was part of the.
And the real one of the real problems was you can have all types of signing contracts, but the issue is how much of that is guaranteed.
Exactly. Here's what cracks me up, Vic. They are having labor negotiations that say what kind of contracts the teams can sign.
Right.
Which is interesting.
Right.
So that's like me and you. We have an organization.
That's right.
We are the owners.
That's right.
And we're talking to the players about what kind of a deal you and I can sign them to.
Right.
Because we want a cap.
Right.
Now, they said to me, the cap is to say what? The cap is to say that, Vic, don't you spend that much money.
Of course.
And so, whereas now, what really happens anyway is that they actually talk outside of that.
Right.
And try to get each other to not spend the money on the down low, but then the other people get greedy, say, "Now I want that player.
Right.
I'm gonna do what I want."
Right.
And so then the other one side, everybody knows this is what actually goes on. That there's collusion amongst the owners to keep that. And so now they want to have they want to pass a law that tells their own people. That's like me saying, "Okay, I'm gonna write a rule that none of us can go over this contract."
Right.
Well, see, so I'm with the players. Don't let it be wide open. Why should it be like a limit? If you can afford it, pay it.
Backpacking, this is a backpacking negotiation. It started off, look, the first ones to holler before all this started, small market teams who could not afford to go out there and pay because of their small revenue generating metropolitan areas. Those small market teams that can't afford to go out and pay the big bucks for the rookies, get those big contracts, and can't compete with the Dallas, can't compete with
all they have to do,
Boston or New England. They can't do it.
Right, so all they have to do is what other sports have done.
Right.
Just write up a different agreement
I agree.
where you share the money differently.
And that's where it started.
And then solve it on that end.
That's where the hollering came from.
Right, so solve it by doing that. Since you're also worried about the struggling franchises, they struggle, they break your heart so damn much.
Right.
Just write an agreement that you make a bigger pot, and they share in that pot, and then all of a sudden it's done, right?
They want it. They want it. First of all, the complaints are going to come from. Look, if they're going to go over to the, if they're going to go over and say, look, we have a problem here. You know, it's the collusion within the ownership. We understand that. I got that.
Well, I don't think. No, we understand.
Well,
that.
I mean,
but I don't think that the whole world or the community really understands.
They don't care,
or the fans totally understand. I think the fans just know something stinks.
Well, look,
it's like their U.S. government.
Right.
They don't actually know how that is actually screwed.
Right.
They can't tell you exactly how.
Right.
But they know they're being screwed.
Let me tell you why. Why I think they really don't care. It's like Wall Street. When the market was real healthy, or presumed to be healthy, and everybody's getting their thick payment, nobody had any problems with Wall Street. But soon as all of a sudden it fell, the floor fell from underneath, all of a sudden the complaints. I said, well, when you was getting thick rich off of it, and everybody was doing well, everything was cool.
Exactly. That's why they should have just solved it behind closed doors and kept it out now. But now everybody knows if you have to actually sit there and have the fans know what the franchises are making, how much they're splitting, and then if you still have the fans know on top of that what the players are making.
Right.
There's rebellion because the first thing the fans are going to say is, then why the hell is my ticket prices so damn high?
Right.
If you got that much damn money, you can cut ticket prices by 50%.
Right. And you know what I'm looking for before I go into the next story? I'm looking for that they do protect the retired NFL players as it relates to having a better system set up for those who just, not every player.
The player association, not the owners.
Not the owners. I'm looking for them to protect them on both sides. And I know the players are trying to do that on the union side.
And it's actually, it's depending on how you look at it, you may not think that it's enough. If you know John Mackey recently died.
Yes, I do.
And he actually was, because he had Alzheimer's.
Yeah, dementia.
He actually was one of the people who caused the players to start having a fund to allow for hospitalizations of players suffering from Alzheimer's. So that's players taking care of themselves.
That's what we're hoping
You need more
for.
of that.
Yeah. I mean, how much will it cost to do that? The idea that the players themselves can step up and do that lets you know that it's greed upon the owners because they're actually saying, we don't want no packaging involved in this whatsoever, and hopefully something will come out of this. But I have to still go over to one other thing that just is just going to make it interesting to me. I say, with the football season around the corner, and there's hope and there's glory and there's all these other things, and if everything doesn't go wrong and fall out from underneath us, there's going to be media headlines on a lot of things. They're going to cover the spring training, the players, everybody resumes. Cam Newton's already in the news to a certain degree. I want to know which players will be the top media headlines for the upcoming 2011-2012 season if everything goes right. And I have some choices here that you can go through. And if there's a player here that I haven't mentioned, Mar, you go ahead and tell me.
Plaxico Burress.
Well, I thought about him too.
Only because I don't know if it is, but they're drumming that in our minds, I guess. They keep talking about Plaxico.
Right. And I put down, and for me, I did something with Amani Toomer. I don't know why I put that there. So I had
what's happening with Amani Toomer?
Well, it's brain freeze. I was supposed to put Plaxico Burress.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you had me think, is he ex-con now?
No. My bad. For all the publishers out there, please don't look at it this way.
Okay.
Mine. And I know what I was doing.
That makes sense. Amani. Yeah. So that would have been Plaxico.
Yes.
That's your typo.
That's my typo.
Okay. So I think that may be one of them.
Yeah. Brett Favre, Cam Newton, Michael Vick, Peyton
Manning.
Manning.
Brett Favre is It's in there, but it's probably the least interesting of all the stories for right now, unless something happens to change it.
Right.
But it's still something to talk about. No, I think probably the hottest story, and Peyton, I don't think we're worried about his neck.
Neck surgery?
No, I don't think. But I don't think we're really worried about that based on what he and the kind of thing. I think it's going to be fine.
Okay.
But I think Cam Newton is going to be a big story because that's the thing to watch.
Right.
Isn't it? It's the thing to watch. It's not just that it's him. It's also the Panthers.
You know what? Here's the part that I'm worried about on the Cam Newton story. Is that they're always doing the stories just like Tim Tebow. But you know the likelihood that you get to see them play is nil unless he starts off the season. And when they don't claim a starter, you won't know until after the practice.
Who else does Carolina have?
Well, I forgot. That's the bad part about it.
Because I keep forgetting. People keep retiring. Who? Because,
Well, there was a recent retirement of Vrabel from Kansas City going
and
over
Kerry Collins. I can't remember who he played.
Oh,
for.
he used to be Panthers.
Right, but not, I can't remember who.
And Tennessee.
He was on the Titans, though.
Yeah, Tennessee.
So I lose. Once you hit the bench, I start losing. Who's on the bench? I
Right.
can't remember.
Because we've been so removed so
Right,
much.
right. But let's put it like this. Cam Newton, that's a big story for the year. Plaxico Barris is the big story for the year.
Right.
Michael Vick's is in there.
Yeah, because it's
just to see what happens if he's able to maintain.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a lot for him to see if he can sit back and not exhaust himself, put himself out there. Some of those other players got on the offensive end got to step up more. He just can't carry that much, or else he's going to get worn and torn down.
Hey, but you know who I think is another one just occurred to me, Vic, that's not here that I think is going to be an interesting story?
Who's that?
Donovan McNabb.
Arizona, if they get him, but I have some I don't know, man. I think his
expertise. You think he's done?
I think I'm gonna say this. I do believe he's gonna bring leadership. He's gonna bring a positive attitude. He's gonna bring that expertise. I would never want not to have a Donovan McNabb on the team. I just don't think people go back and look at go before like 5 years ago, and go look at how he produced. Then look at how his play is in the last couple of years. When you look at it, what happens is you don't realize what kind of impact player this was. Remember, this was a quarterback who was 265 pounds with speed and could throw. So it's not the same Donovan. So I'm gonna say this: I think he has something there, and the thing is will he be picked up? Is he going over to, say, Arizona? The best fit where a team needs, some senior leadership. And I'm going to say that, in a good way. They do. You can't. It's just hard to progress deep in the playoffs with a lot of youth and know what they call experience and expertise from being in the playoffs and moving on further, or even leadership. I just don't know if he's going to have the same impact to be a winner on the organization, also competitively against the other teams. So, you make a good point. Yet I say the jury's still out, man. Because why would Washington let him go? And
obviously he couldn't get. We know one of the controversies.
If Cobb, if that's where the future is, and they say, look, that's it, we're done. Now I said Cobb. I should have said somebody else. Why? Why would they let him go? So maybe you have more of an outlook on it as far as McNabb having the effectiveness that he used to have. I just think he's lost enough to say they've seen something happen, and maybe they're just saying it's time. All right, let me just say this then. I will tell you this. Peyton Manning neck surgery, since it's his second neck surgery, is kind of big. But, I'm not saying he's the number one story. If I had to rate 3 players, I would say, Cam Newton is going to get the bulk of it. Always, because I think he has a chance to come out starting way sooner than, say, Tim Tebow did last year, for obvious reasons, because Carolina has to, that's a project right now. And I'll say Michael Vick, because people want to see how he produces, come out, was last year a fluke? I don't believe so. And then, of course, Plaxico Burress, will he sign, which he has said that he prefers the New York Jets amongst some other teams. Notice the players always want to go to winning organizations.
Yeah, who wants to go to a loser?
Yeah. So, and Brett Favre is out of the mix, we're saying that any story that comes out, he's not going to be in the top 3. I just saying Brett Favre tweeting, headlines, coverage, you're saying he won't be in the top 3.
No, because I think it's just something to talk about. I don't expect anything of it.
Okay, all right.
That's the real reason. If I don't think he's going to return.
Right.
Even though I think he would return given the proper circumstances, but you have to have a contending team almost.
Right.
That's at least someone that has some possibility of contending.
Right.
And then they have to want him.
Right. and one thing they do know, as soon as you raise the level of Brett Favre, just mentioning his name, somehow there's a magnetism for media to go ahead and pick up the story. So maybe he won't be in the top 3. I think he would be about 3rd. This is prior to regular season games that he may come up in the mix. I think there's going to be some quarterbacks that get hurt. and they're going to wish they had some leadership on the team. Will he humble himself to
No.
say, okay, you're saying.
See, that's my thing. No, he won't. He won't. That's why it's not going to work.
Right.
Because he has nothing to gain, and I can't blame him.
Right.
He has nothing to gain from that situation.
Okay. All right. Well,
He has nothing. Why even bother to even do all that?
Yeah. No, I agree with you. It's just something to bring up. But I have to go over to something that, if we don't give no respect to this right now, the Major League Home Run Derby is this evening. And then you have the All-Star game that's tomorrow. Now, Mario, there's a lot of baseball fans out there.
No, there's not.
Yes, there are.
No,
there's
not.
a lot
It's
of
like
baseball.
2 baseball fans.
Hey, look, if they can
Only
play 162 games in a
2
year,
fans in the whole world.
they got something going. Here's the question, though. Okay, not that it mattered to you. 68 players are currently what they will call the players for the teams combined, the American League, National League total. Well, they just increased it to 83 players. Now, if you have an all-star game, and there's already a story out there that some of the qualified all-star, I guess you can say players, will not participate in this game. If they increase the number of participants to 83, are they trying to take advantage of having every team represented as much as possible?
Oh, yeah, it's dollars.
Okay. All right. See, it's a simple one.
Dollars.
It's a simple one, right?
That's why we have 5 zillion bowl games.
Right.
Fiesta Bowl, Siesta Bowl,
Right.
Dorito Bowl.
But is it a
Toilet
good thing?
Bowl.
Is it a good thing? I believe that if you get the,
I don't know.
No. Here's a good part.
It's like music award shows. There's 5 zillion of
when
them.
take away the adult part of it and put it in kids like 7 or 8 or 9, 10 years old. All they see is attach themselves is to the player from their city, because fathers are doing that. Other responsible adults are making sure that they hopefully get them to follow sport and baseball and basketball and football. But in baseball, I remember, because my father followed Willie Mays, I just was attached to it, just by default. So I'll say yes, it's a good thing that they get as many players there as possible. Now, here's the pro and con. I can't wait to hear how you feel about this. If you guys want to see a picture of Mario when he used to swing the bat, I want to show you this.
What are we talking about?
Well,
Swing the bat.
Yeah, well, if you hit the picture up there, I'm going to show.
I know she was 13.
see my whole point. You over there. See, this is Mario in his early days when he had hair.
I was chubbier.
Right. That's Mario. Of course, the fan, you notice the gloves, kind of small.
Michael Jackson lent those to me.
Okay. Here's the question, and here's the issue I have, because it may potentially happen. All the hype, All-Star game, a lot of people are going to watch the All-Star game. But we're going to watch the home run derby because we get to see all the home runs. It's a show. Mario, wonder if the score of the All-Star game ends, whether it's National League or American League, 1-0. Would you have felt that you've been entertained?
Well, it could happen because baseball, first of all, you spend most of your time drinking beer and eating hot dogs. I mean, so, yeah. I mean, you're almost as entertained as you always are.
Well, let me say this. For those who are at the stadium, they're there for at least 3 to 3.5, maybe 4 hours.
And that's like 6 beers and 3 hot dogs.
So a score of 1-0 makes a game entertaining?
No, but the 6 beers does.
Okay, I'm going to go on to my next subject. See,
the 3 hot dogs. They have wonderful food at the baseball stadium.
Can't get now. See, if I was talking about Shaq, it'd be totally different.
By the way, Shaq's got a new position.
I know that. Yeah, he's going TNT Barkley.
That's right, Shaq.
Now wait a minute. Let me say this.
I'm watching Basketball Wives. Though.
Can they say can the harmony or the chemistry be disrupted? Even though we all like,
of course
Shaq.
it can.
Do you think it will be a better ratings level for TNT?
I don't know, but I'm all for the Aristotle.
You know what?
There you go. Come
Big
on,
Aristotle
Shaq.
can't do nothing wrong.
Yes, he can.
No, he can't.
He can do something wrong.
He can't do nothing.
I didn't like his beard. That's what I told him. I said, I'm not big on the beard.
All right.
And he's like, who gives a shit? I was like, see, that's what I said.
Okay.
That's why we agree. We're fans. Like the stuff I don't like about Shaq, who cares?
Right.
He's still my man.
No, he's the man.
Yeah.
He's the man. He's the man.
That's right. I told you.
Everybody has to feel their.
Come hang out with Mario.
Kenny Smith has his role. Barkley definitely has his role. That's the whole part. who gets more time on this? And since Chris Webber did his little testing thing and they had a rotation of people, they're not giving up more time because they had other people on the broadcast as special guests. So I can't wait to see it, dude. The big, call him the big, what do you want to call him? The big broadcaster?
The big broadcast. Come on, Pack Stereos.
Right.
We talk about getting your own channel.
Right. All right.
That's what. Wouldn't that be hot, y'all?
No.
Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah.
Embraces Pack Stereo TV, gets his own channel.
You had a better chance before
Man.
he signed off with TNT. Once he did that, that you're done.
Well,
you can't touch him for the rest of the year.
I don't know.
Yeah. Time to go over to the next subject, which is do you believe? And, we always sit there and try to make you think about something that you probably already know. But it's always good to see a mug shot now and then. Now.
Well, you sure get them.
Wait. So here you go, you guys. That's Pac-Man. Now, Pac-Man want not to be called Pac-Man, call him by his regular name, but this is Pac-Man. Now, Pac-Man was this past Saturday, recently at a bar. So
again?
Yeah, do you believe? Do you believe?
Can't you just learn to stay home?
Wait a minute. Do you believe?
Damn, Pac-Man.
Cincinnati Bengals Pac-Man Jones was arrested at a bar late Saturday night for disorderly conduct while intoxicated and resisting arrest, claiming an inception is the reason for his behavior.
Inception?
Yeah. Mario, you got to keep up, man. The movie Inception, man. I get to.
I'm about to say, why is it? So that's because the statement made no sense.
Yeah, no, it's an inception. You.
So that would happen. A drunk NFL player said some crazy shit. That's why I'm having a banana. I'm trying to eat healthy.
Right.
Pac-Man, instead of having that fourth drink. So you know what's the bad thing, Vic?
What?
You know he didn't have like 2 drinks.
Right.
And you know he didn't go in there with the idea of having 2 drinks. He said, I'm going to the club to get fucked up. That's what he did. And he went up there and he did just what he said. Now his ass, damn, Pac-Man.
It's a problem, isn't it?
You should have had a banana.
Yeah, he has a problem. Okay, all right. Let me go to the next because Pac-Man is got a history and it's gonna stay with him. All right.
You can take Negroes out of the country,
Man,
but
they don't use that term. Negro.
you can't. Negro. I had to tell some people lately. Negro is what white people called you when they were being nice to you when I was a kid. Okay, that's why we cling to it.
What did black people call each other back in the day?
When they were being nice or when they were not being nice?
Both.
When they were not being nice, they called you black. When they were being nice, they called you Negro. It's the same.
I know, it's the same. All right, you guys. Do you believe more U.S. men were depressed as the favorite vacationing country spot, Brazil, was defeated by the U.S. women, and now the men need an inception?
No. We knew that the Brazilians would be depressed,
right?
So we're going to fly down there and comfort them.
Gotcha.
They need comforting.
Okay, not bad, not bad.
Comfort those ladies with the feathers.
Right.
The ones with the big feathers, the ones I want to comfort.
Yeah. So in other words, okay, you got it. No, Mario's an endorsement. It's an endorsement.
I am. I'm going to comfort them. You going? we head down there. There's going to be emergency. Pack Stereo's going to do an emergency visit. We heard there's some depressed Brazilians on the beach.
You're wrong, man.
And we're going to go find them.
We're going to help them.
We are.
All right, the last one before we get out of here. Do you believe Cam Newton worked on a recent commercial with another NFL quarterback who he called the master, and it was Peyton Manning? Do you believe?
No.
Who was it, Mario?
It was Ocho Cinco.
I said quarterback.
Oh, excuse me. We changed the position now that he's engaged,
Okay.
He's engaged. I watched the Basketball Wives.
I knew you. I know.
But the Basketball Wives have some football player girl. Okay, that's why they got me confused because it's Basketball Wives.
Right, with football.
But she got Ocho Cinco
on the show.
So I don't know, but I'm watching it.
Well, good. It's a recent commercial that, of course, the man, Cam Newton, was working on, and it was Tom Brady. And he said Tom Brady is the pinnacle and the master. So it's not Peyton Manning. So I thought I could throw one close in there, but you didn't go for it.
No.
Man.
And by the way, just got to tell everybody, we lost the broadcast feed for a minute, but we're back up on live stream for everybody who was patient. Thank you all.
Oh, there we go.
Because we're back in there now.
Now that we're back, I'm done with new sports. And I hope you guys stay around for hot picks. So we're done, man. That was it for me, man.
That's right. Congratulations to the women's soccer team and their sports bras. Hey, that's Victor Allen's new Sports. Written, directed by Victor Allen. Stone cold sober while he was doing it.